Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Multi-Voice Entertainment. I am the Multi-Voice Reviewer. I have many voices, but one opinion. And, I kind of remembered that I did talk about two characters based in comic books that Disney made, which not exactly MCU, part of the MCU because they're not Marvel. Well, this time I'm going to be reviewing one of them today. And, today I am going to review Dick Tracy. Now, a long time ago, before comic books was a big thing at the time, there was something called comic strips. They're just a bunch of a bunch of comics on a newspaper. And the guy who created Dick Tracy is none other than Chester Gould. Chester Gould was the first guy who decided to make a sort of a film noir cop comic book series about a no-nonsense police detective who solves mysteries, and it's pretty obvious who the bad guys are. It's the criminals who represents their nicknames. And here is the comic strip that it first appeared on. And excuse the storm, I guess, it's like since Dick Tracy is more like a film noir thing, and most film noir movies, there always be like a stormy night. But anyway, if you ever wanted to read the original comic strips of Dick Tracy, you should go online and buy yourself some graphic novels of them. You can just find them on Amazon or eBay. Now, Dick Tracy was popular enough that they decided to make a radio series based from it. And then, all of a sudden, there were more demands to Dick Tracy than anyone in the world, so therefore they made serials starring Morgan Conway. Sorry about that. But anyway, the serials got really popular enough that they decided to do a TV series in the 40s starring Ralph Byrd. But you can just easily find the serials and the classic TV series on DVD. And then around in the 60s, they decided to do a cartoon series of Dick Tracy, which I've seen some of the cartoon series, and I had to say some of them are kind of controversial because they had a character who's Asian, but he had glasses and buck teeth, so I was like, no. No. But you can find it on YouTube. Now, believe it or not, during the time when Batman and the Green Hornet got popular on television, they made an on-air pilot, which sadly didn't catch on back in the 70s. And then we get to the 1990s movies starring Warren Beatty and Madonna. Now, one thing I gotta say about Madonna, that dame got a lot of mileage on her, but she has a body I don't even know when to quit. It's the first time I decided to do a review in a storm. One thing I forgot to mention after the movie was made, they decided to do a 3-issue series of Dick Tracy, which is supposed to be a prequel story before the movie. But of course, one thing I was amazed, it was an all-star cast back in the 90s, in that 90s movie. I mean, besides Warren Beatty and Madonna, you have Al Pacino playing the main bad guy, Big Boy Caprice. So Al Pacino, at least he doesn't go around with a tummy gun saying, "Say hello to my little friend. You want to play rough? Okay, let's play rough. Look at you now, you little dick." You little cockroach. I just like to make the... like if Scarface was in the Dick Tracy world. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, take a look at the rogues gallery on Dick Tracy in the comic strips. And also the ones from the movie. I mean, they've done a pretty damn good work on the villains. I mean, they look exactly like their nicknames, and they do resemble a lot of the criminals from the comic strips. Now, one problem was they wanted to do a TV series. They were planning on making Warren Beatty look like Dick Tracy, giving him the prosthetics to make his jaw square and let his nose stick out. But the problem was Warren Beatty said no. He didn't want any prosthetics on his face. He'd rather stay the way he looked. And of course it was supposed to be like making a Dick Tracy trilogy movies. But due to the failure of the blockbuster, they ended it. Too bad. I mean, one thing I remember in the comic strips that happened, that if you know that character Kid, where now he becomes Dick Tracy Jr., in the future in the comic strips, now, in the later comics, in the later series, the comic strip series of Dick Tracy, it got a little science fiction, to be precise. And Kid, aka Dick Tracy Jr., he falls in love with an alien who calls herself the Moon Maiden. An interspecies relationship in a Dick Tracy world. Imagine that. Now, of course, I remember that there were... I mean, Dick Tracy got popular enough, they made some video games based from it, like, now, I played the Nintendo 64 version of it, which the game sucked. I mean, it just... You couldn't shoot the unarmed bad guys, but you can shoot the ones who are armed, and trying to control the car is a nightmare, and trying to find enough evidence so you can arrest the crooks, or else you're gonna be in trouble in the game. So there's some puzzles involved. It makes it hard to play. And they made one in the Game Boy, and the other one in the Sega Genesis. They were planning on making a TV series of Dick Tracy starring none other than Bruce Campbell. Which I had to admit, Bruce Campbell would have been perfect as Dick Tracy because he's got the chin for it, I tell you that. But after that, there's rumors going on saying that they're going to make a brand new Dick Tracy somehow. A brand new one. But they're not. But Warren Beatty is too old to play him, so he'll just going to produce the movie, maybe direct it, and find somebody else to play Dick. But one thing I noticed so far, there was a company who goes by the name of IDW Publishing. They decided to make a brand new comic book series of Dick Tracy. So, if you want to see how the IDW Publishing do their series of Dick Tracy. You can find it online, order the graphic novel of them, and live the experience of Dick Tracy. Well, this is my review for the day. I am Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I remember it so I can jog your memory. See you next time on The Rocketeer.